Gentlemen, Coach Mike Judy here. You can find me on Twitter at Coach Mike Judy. DM me, follow me there. Also, as always, like and subscribe to this channel. I'm trying to roll out 2 to 3 videos a week on content and, just talk football, man. Wanted to bring to you today a little bit of our nickel package. We started rolling this thing out in 2016. It was out of sheer necessity. I'll get to that in a minute. But we have 2 concepts that we use. First of all, we have coverages that we use here, namely 2-man, which it's not just for 7-on-7 guys. All right, you can use it in certain situations. We actually use it in the end of the game scenarios as well. We feel pretty strongly that we like that package, and we feel like we can get some stuff done there. And it's something that a lot of teams don't expect in a real football game. But we had two nickel packages that we wanted to roll out. I'll get to it in a second, the reasoning behind it. But basically, we have a 4-1 box, so even front nickel package, and then we have a 3-2 box, odd front nickel package. This all came about in 2016. We were rolling into the last game of the season. We were playing an opponent that we knew we were going to handle easily. And we were on a crash course with this other team. So we were both undefeated. They were getting ready to play probably their worst opponent, and we're going to finish undefeated, and we were going to finish undefeated. So we knew that to reach our goals and win that state championship, we were probably going to end up being the number 1 and number 2 seed and have to see these guys in the finals of the state championship. So we started working on this nickel package because if we faced them, we were going to have a problem. And the problem was our defensive skill guys were not as athletic and good as their offensive skill guys. And again, being truthful and having clarity, is very, very important to me as a head coach, and also on the defensive side of the ball. You got to know what your strengths are and know what your weaknesses are. So we knew that with this team, they were going to pick us apart if we didn't do something to confuse the quarterback and the play caller. We had to do something that was different than they had seen us do before. Again, it's a small state, so it's pretty easy to get tape on everybody, and we damn sure had every one of their films, and I know they had every one of our films. So we held on to this thing, and we were working on it for about 3 weeks. And all it was we were subbing in an extra defensive back and playing some more coverages, namely the outlier being 2-man. They had probably the most productive wide receiver in our state history, had about 20 receiving touchdowns in a year, ended up walking on to a Big 12 school. They had a 6'4" receiver on the other side that was fast and springy. Again, he's at a Division II school, had a slot receiver who ended up being a Division II football player. And then the other receiver was a stud as well. I don't think he might be done. I don't know where he is. The quarterback who's the trigger man in all this, was a high-level Division I talent, had a strong arm, didn't miss. But I felt like the only thing we might be able to do is to try to make things very cloudy for him. If we sat in cover 2 or 2 read, he was going to pick us apart, and he wasn't going to miss, and it was going to be a long game. And then the running back ended up starting at a FCS powerhouse as a freshman at the safety position, and was a freshman All-American and is an All-American this year. So we knew we were in trouble unless we did something drastic. So we started working on a nickel package, and purely to confuse them. So this is our heavy package where we're running a 4-1 box. This is one of the areas where we felt we matched up better against them, was our 4 defensive linemen, or our box was going to be better and we could shut down the run. That's just what we felt. We didn't fear their run even in this 5-man box. So this is our 2-man stuff. Again, I don't know how you guys teach it or how you would teach it, but this is how we taught it. Corners have 1, nickel and strong safety have number 2. Safeties are deep, 10 to 15 yards, depending on a lot of different factors. We're playing middle of the field open concept. What we want them to do is to be patient. We want them to be deep enough to be patient, deep enough to get a picture at the snap of the ball as to what these releases look like, and then also be able to see the quarterback and to see his eyes and let his eyes guide you. And our kids did a great job during the game. And we had a couple picks. We had about 3 drop picks, but we ended up with 2 or 3 interceptions in the game, and we sacked the kid probably 6 or 7 times. Now, one of the things that we do is if we get trips, either they run to it or they align in it, we go nickel or Sam over. One final thought about 2-man. We're a spill-based team. So our defensive ends are taught from day one as a freshman, you're spilling any sort of kick out unless you're told otherwise. Well, when you're playing man, when your alley players are playing man, you better be that's going to be one of those situations where it's otherwise. You better tell him not to spill, okay? Because if he spills counter tray to nobody, you're in trouble. So we're making a call, all right, and we leave it up to the backers and the nickels to make that call. Again, if I'm the nickel and I'm a man, I'm better be telling that defensive end not to spill. Now, the other stuff that we ran, just straight cover 2, and we ran some 2 read. Again, all with the idea of giving them different looks, actually giving them almost the same alignment, but with some different reactions by us. That was critical. We also incorporated what we call a mix tag. So mix, you're going to hear me talk about this when we get to the clips. Mix means, for our kids, it means if we call mix in a man coverage, right? So like mix lion, for example, I want them to show zone and then late in the cadence get into man leverage and play it. If it was mix storm, which is cover 2 for us, then I want them to show man and then get to their cover 2 leverage, okay, late in the cadence. Again, all with the intent of confusing the quarterback and confusing the play caller and making him try to check into a play that's probably not a great play for them. Now, the other package that we used was our light package, which was instead of subbing out a backer, we subbed out a D tackle to bring in the nickel, and we aligned in an odd front, just a 3-2 box. Out of this package, we were going to blitz. Okay, we were going to blitz this kid. All right, this inside backer in some capacity. If you watch any of my other videos, you'll know about Razor and Blood. Okay, so Razor and Blood was a staple for us in this game. All right, and then we had two other blitzes that we had dialed up. We never got to use them during the game. We didn't need them, and we just never had the opportunity to run it. It was a field pressure from the Sam and a boundary, or a field pressure and a boundary pressure from the Sam or nickel. We were going to bring it from depth, roll late, try to get him on a run and start off the edge, something that we weren't going to show early in the game at all. We were going to try to save it for the end, but we ended up being up by a good lead, and we were kind of killing it with what we were doing, so we didn't want to change too much. We also had a way to double the kids they were trying to target. So we felt that if the quarterback was having a hard time pumping the ball out to the 2 really good players, then we'd be able to double their probably most dangerous kid, which was their slot receiver that ended up being a Division II kid. He was dangerous as heck and a major mismatch problem sometimes. So we felt we wanted to double him, but we had the ability to double anybody. Basically just kind of run the old like Belichick double so-and-so. Again, didn't have to use it in the game. All right, let me get to some film. Okay, I'm going to skip around here a little bit, but this is the very first play of the game. Okay, we line up in storm. Again, we hadn't shown this alignment at all. I want you to watch the safety at the bottom of the screen here. I love his patience. Okay, see how relaxed he is? I mean, obviously he's not even in a great stance, but he's nice and relaxed, and he's patient, and then he breaks on the ball and drops a pick. That was one of 3 drop picks that day. We ended up with 2 or 3 picks and probably sacked the kid 6 or 7 times. All right. Now, this clip, this is a mix and play two-man call. So I want you to watch the corner at the top of the screen. Okay. He's showing outside leverage, poor alignment for cover two, but we just wanted to give the illusion that we were going to be playing zone. And then we work to inside leverage. Okay. Again, when you're teaching these coverages, I think it's important that you talk to your kids about knowing where your help is. This kid's 5'7", 150 pounds, probably ran a 4.9, maybe a 4.8 with a stiff wind at his back. This is the most productive receiver in our state history. Probably runs a 4.6 or 4.5, but just a hell of a football player. He's got to know, our corner's got to know where his help is. So his help, he knows that he cannot allow this kid to get into the middle of the field, especially with all the slant bubble stuff they were running, because that's a long way for the mic to go. So we're going to try to deny that inside entry, that in-breaking route, knowing that our help, all right, knowing that our help is going to be back here with the safety. All right. So we know that our help is deep and outside, and that if the kid runs by me, I just need to be in a trail position. All right. So it kind of freed the kid up to play more aggressively. And he does a great job there, button up that little slant route. The kid turns it into a sluggo. All right. And the kid throws it in the dirt. All right. So now we've been mixing it up a little bit. Now we're going to run some two read. Okay. Again, same corner. All right. Watch him at the bottom of the screen. So this team in particular had a lot of success on the season of running some sort of in-breaking route, maybe a rail route, and then running this kid on a flat route and then kind of wheeling him up and sitting him. Okay, so they would settle that wheel, so a traditional post-wheel type of route combo, they would settle that thing down, and they have a lot of success, okay, sometimes even with a double wheel, all right? And our corner, we coached the kid up. We knew it, okay, be patient, all right? Be patient when you get that flat route and jump it. It's 3rd and 9. All right, we get the pick. Crowd goes crazy. Cameraman almost dies off the back of the press box. It's awesome. All right. Again, we felt pretty strongly that out of our 4-1 box that we would get pretty good pressure with our front. All right. But also one of the things was we had to keep this kid from triggering early. So by mixing the coverages, all right, keeping him off balance there. Again, in this situation, we're just playing straight cover two leverage on these cats. But this kid, by this time in the game, the quarterback's probably thinking, are they going to play the man? Are they going to play zone? Like, where am I going to pump this ball? All right, we get good pressure. Kid's running for his life. All right. All right, there we get another mix. All right. Now, this clip, the quarterback ends up, ball slips out of his hand, but I want you to watch this kid right here. Okay. This is a linebacker matched up on their best, probably their best overall football player and their best slot receiver. What he does really well there, well, first of all, what he doesn't do well is he lunges. All right. But what he does do well is he makes a kid run the hump and plays trail. So unless that kid can pump the ball, feather it out here, all right, and make a perfect pass and a perfect catch, it's going to be a tough play. All right, here's us getting an interception off of just straight cover two. Again, the rush throws it right to a kid that, again, he probably thought would be running with somebody. All right, so I'm going to jump out of this real quick, go down. I got one more I want to show you. Okay, this is their very last snap. So we're winning pretty handily here. All right, and we just, they're going to punt the ball away and we can run out the clock. So this is our last play, 3rd and 18. All right, we're in our odd front. We're going to actually bring that blood stunt from the field here. All right, so here's that little linebacker. Okay, we're going to bring him, but I want you to watch. Here's a linebacker. But I want you to watch this safety. Watch how patient he is. All right. Again, watch that safety. I love his patience here, how relaxed he is, getting a picture of what's going on and driving on the most dangerous route, but also reading the quarterback's eyes. Quarterback's looking in, he's working in. All right. And he delivers a blow and breaks his pass up. And again, that kid catches it. It doesn't make a difference in the outcome of the game. But what it did was it emphasized that nothing was going to be easy for the offense this day. And we were going to make sure, and our kids I'm very proud of them for playing the entire game. We ended up winning the state championship, but this play really kind of embodies what we were trying to do is, 48 minutes of hell. All right. Get them confused the entire time. And we want to play every snap like it's our last. Well, this one just happens to be this kid's last snap ever. And he goes out with a bang. All right. So, gentlemen, once again, like and subscribe. If you have any comments, please leave them. Find me on Twitter. All right. DM me. All right. Love to talk football. Again, I'm going to be pumping out like 2 or 3 videos a week, probably a minimum of 2. I just like sharing our content. All right. Hope to be able to talk to you guys, talk some football. All right. Have a good one.